Lesson number 88 is about surface area of a right solid. Now our first question says find the surface area of the right triangular solid shown. Dimensions are given in centimeters. So instead of writing this, since we've got our label out on everything, we're going to change this so dimensions are in centimeters. If we want to do that, we've got to find the surface area. Well, we need to find the area of each piece and add them all together. Let's start off with our base. Our base is on the bottom. And if we look at our base on the bottom here, well, that's a rectangle, has a length of 12 and a width of 10. So our bottom, our base, is going to be equal to 12 times 10. And 12 times 10, the area of that must be 120, and that would be square centimeters. Let's look at a next piece. Next piece we can look at, let's look at the side. If we look at the side here, we'll call this the left side. The left side, well, that's another rectangle. The length must be 16, and the width must be, well, that's tricky because the width is over here. The width must be 10 centimeters. So, to find the area, 16 times 10, that's going to be equal to 160 square centimeters. We're partway there. Now, let's go ahead and find the area of our two triangles. If we find the area of one triangle, it will be exactly the same as the area of our other triangle in back. If you've got colored pencils like I do, it's very helpful when you draw these out so you can see the different pieces you're solving for. So our front triangle, or we'll just call it the front is going to be equal to, well, we know the area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. So we get 12 times 16 divided by 2. Well, 12 times 16, we can work that out over here. 6 times 2, that's 12, and we carry our 1. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 1 more is 7. Got 0 as a placeholder. 1 times 2 is 2. And 1 times 1 is 1. So we get an answer of 192. So the front is going to be 192 divided by 2. So 192 divided by 2, if we cut 192 in half, well, we must get 96, because 96 times 2 is 192. So we get 96 square centimeters. Well, the back must be exactly the same because it's the same size triangle. And all we need now, we have one more piece left. Do you see that last piece? That last piece would be the slanted rectangle coming down. And we could color this one in with some lines so we can see it a little bit more easily. Length is 20, width is 10. So our right side, that's going to be equal to 20 times 10. That must be 200 square centimeters. Now we can add everything up to find our answer. We'll add as we go. 120 plus 160. Well, that's 280. So we're going to get 280. We're running out of room. So if we're running out of room, we'll use this little space here. We're going to get 280 plus, let's do plus 200 because that's an easy problem. 280 plus 200, that's equal to 480. Then we have 480 plus 96 plus 96. Now we know 96 plus 96 is 192 because we already cut that number in half to get 96. So 480 plus 192 is going to give us our final answer. I think we can squeeze it in here. 0 plus 2, that's 2. 8 plus 9 is 17. We'll carry our 1. 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 4 is 6. So we get an answer of 672. That must be our surface area of the right triangular solid shown. But we need a label, so it'll be 672 square centimeters, or centimeters to the second power, whichever you prefer to write. I like writing centimeters to the second power because it's quicker. Let's look at our next problem. Here we want to find the lateral surface area of the right circular cylinder below. Dimensions given are in feet. So the lateral surface area, that just means everything that's not our top or our bottom. So everything that's not our top or our bottom, it must be the curved part of this right circular cylinder. So since we don't need to think about the top or the bottom in this problem because we're only finding the lateral surface area, we don't need to think about the radius. Or it may appear that way since we're not looking at this. So we can keep that crossed out in light blue, but keep that number of 3 feet in your mind. If we want to find out what the lateral surface area of this is, well, it's kind of like finding out how much of a label would we need on a soup can. And if we were finding out a problem like that, we could realize that, well, the label of our soup can, that's just a rectangle that's been curved around this curved shape, or it's been folded along the curved shape. It's just lying on top of it. So in order to figure out what the area of the lateral surface will be, we need to know the height. The height here is 10 feet. Then we need to know what our circumference is. The circumference, the distance around the outside of a circle, is the same thing as the distance, as our length of our rectangle. So, we do need that radius. The radius is 3. So if the radius is equal to 3 feet, that means the diameter must be 6 feet. And we know that circumference is equal to diameter times pi. So, diameter times pi, well, that's going to be 6 times pi. If we can multiply 6 times pi, we can figure out our final answer. Let's do that below. 3.14 times 6. 6 times 4, that's 24. We'll carry our 2. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 2 more is 8. Decimal point will come in because we need to move it over twice, so we move it in twice. And 6 times 3 is 18. We get an answer of 18.84. So that belongs right here as our length. Now to figure out the surface area of this piece of our rectangle that goes around our right circular cylinder, the lateral surface, we multiply. So we're going to multiply 18.84 times 10. And we can write it like this because multiplying by 10 is nice. We know it just gets 10 times bigger, so the decimal point will move 1 to the right because it's getting bigger. So we get 188.4. And in this problem we have feet, so the surface area must be square feet. And we've got our final answer. It's nice when you only have to find the lateral surface area because it means you don't have to find the area of the top or the bottom. But you do have to find the area of this right circular cylinder's curved piece. Lesson practice will be on page 277. Make sure you've got your notes complete, and I'll see you during our next class.